Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's session. So we're gonna start our session now. Okay, so please sit in a comfortable position. Put your hands in a comfortable position. Gently close your eyes. We're gonna do some breathing exercises first. So breathe in all the aggression. And when you breathe out, if there is a tension, tightness, any feelings of stress and tiredness, any negative emotion, negative energy in the body and the mind, just let it all go out together with the out breath. Okay, so let us try. Gently take a deep breath in. Gently let it out. Relax, 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 relax. For the second time, take a deep breath in. Gently let it out. Relax, 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 relax. For the third time, take a deep breath in. Gently let it out. Relax, 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 relax. For the last time, take a deep breath in again. Gently let it out. Relax, 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 relax. Relaxation of the body. If there is any more tension and tightness, any more feelings of using or exerting strength in the body, we're gonna gently let it go and let the body abide in a state of relaxation and inaction. Relaxation of mind, if so gently be aware the mind in every present moment. If there is any craving, any wanting, any expectations, Gently let it go and let the mind abide in non-craving, non-wanting, and non-expectations. Then we're gonna let the mind abide in action. It means for the mind not doing or thinking about anything in particular, not having the need for the mind to do or to think about anything in particular anymore. For this 20 minutes is a time for the mind to have a break from all that wanting and doing. And gently be aware of whatever that manifests through your awareness regarding the body and the mind, moment to moment, moment to moment. Remember not following any stories or issues that may arise in the mind. Also not rejecting or suppressing any stories or issues that may arise in the mind. With total acceptance and awareness as much as we can, just simply being aware of whatever that manifests through your awareness regarding your body and mind, moment to moment. With this relaxed mind and body, so let us continue with our forgiveness reflection today. So for a start, let us remember or recollect the mistakes and the things that we have done wrong, said wrong, or taught wrong in this life. Anything that is a burden in the heart. We're gonna relate to those experiences and ourselves with forgiveness and understanding. Understanding that we did what we did because of ignorance and defilements. Understanding that we did what we did because of our wisdom, experience, knowledge, and mindfulness was not strong enough at those moments. Understanding that we did what we did, maybe because of the influence of our own karma, or because of the influence of others' karma. With all these understandings, let us have forgiveness, understanding, and empathy to ourselves. Feeling forgiveness, understanding, and empathy to ourselves. Imagining in our mind, embracing ourselves with forgiveness, understanding, and empathy. Filling ourselves with forgiveness, understanding, and empathy. Then let us think of our relatives and friends who have done something unpleasant or morally wrong to us. In those states of negative emotions, anything that they may have done, said, or their views and opinions which are morally wrong and arises because of negative emotions at their side. And we're gonna relate to those relatives and friends with forgiveness and understanding. Trying to understand that they did what they did because of ignorance and defilements. Understanding that they did what they did because their wisdom, experience, knowledge, and mindfulness was not strong enough at those moments. Understanding that they did what they did because of the influence of our own karma, or maybe because of the influence of their own karma. Imagining in our mind, trying to understand that if we had same upbringing, received the same education, experienced the same sweet and bitter experiences of life, made the same friend and enemy in life, and have the same character that has been molded throughout our journey in samsara. Understanding that if we had all these things, went through the same process, we might have done the same thing at those moments. With that, let us have forgiveness, understanding, and empathy to those relatives and friends. Feeling forgiveness, understanding, and empathy to those relatives and friends. Imagining in our mind, embracing those relatives and friends with forgiveness, understanding, and empathy. Feeling those relatives and friends and ourselves with forgiveness, understanding, and empathy. Then let us think of the enemies we have in this life. The people who have done something morally wrong to you in their states of negative emotions and intentions. Or if you do not have any enemies, maybe someone who has done something morally wrong that you know of in their negative state of mind, that leaves a heaviness or anger or displeasure in your heart whenever you think about it. So gently, let us try to relate to those enemies and those experiences with forgiveness and understanding. Trying to understand that they did what they did because of ignorance and defilements. Trying to understand that they did what they did because their wisdom, experience, knowledge, and mindfulness was not strong enough at those moments. Trying to understand that they did what they did because of the influence of our own karma, and also maybe because of the influence of their own karma. And trying to understand by imagining in our mind, thinking that if we had gone through the same upbringing, received the same education, encountered the same sweet and bitter experiences of life, made the same friends and enemies throughout their journey in life. And having the same character as them that has been molded throughout the journey in samsara, If we had went through all this and with all the understandings, then we may have done the same things, the same mistakes, same unpleasant things at those moments, if we had gone through all these things. So with that understanding, let us have forgiveness, understanding, and empathy to our enemy. Letting go of the burden, feeling forgiveness, understanding, and empathy to those enemies. Imagining in our mind, embracing them with forgiveness, understanding, and empathy, filling ourselves and those enemies with a wish for no more anger between us, filling up with forgiveness, understanding, and empathy. Finally, let us wish all beings in the world be filled with forgiveness, understanding, and empathy towards each other. So gently take a deep breath in, gently let it out. Relax, 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 relax. For the second time, take a deep breath in again. Gently let it out. Relax, 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 relax. Gently be aware of the feelings of your body. Gently be aware of the feeling of your buttocks touching the cushion. And then, whether the experience was good or no good, doesn't matter. Let the mind come back or be aware of the present moment. Then, just like waking up from a deep sleep, gently Open your eye. Okay, so today's sharing. So this week we are doing trying to cultivate forgiveness for our enemies. Right? We included the new group, which is our enemy. People who have really done bad things, said bad things, or even think badly about us, which was um, because of negative emotion, right? So some people may say, "Oh, Bante, I cannot forgive them. They do, they harm me. They have harmed me in ways that are very painful. I cannot forgive them." Okay, so if this is the case, even after doing the reflections, sometimes the mind maybe still doesn't want to forgive, right? So is there anything that we can do? There are a few things. One thing is to understand this vicious cycle of unwise attention. Okay, so what is this? Basically, if I've said this before, please be patient, and maybe I'll say this again, and maybe you can understand it from maybe another viewpoint. Okay. Okay. So basically, when like the reflection in thinking that those things that we met, those unpleasant experiences that we met, unpleasant people given by unpleasant people. So they may be a result of our own karma and maybe a result of maybe the influence of their own karma, right? So in terms of cause and effect, which we know as karma, it is like this. When we experience unpleasant experiences, actually the is a bad karma from the past is arising through our ears, through our sight, hearing, smelling, tasting, and touching, and also uh, sometimes our thoughts also. Okay, so so these are the seeds, the karmic seeds of the past ripening into experiences. Then, uh, whenever we met with these unpleasant experiences, if we react with anger, if we react with any unwholesome mind, greed, hatred, delusion, ego, stubbornness, arrogance, inferiority, complex, envy, jealousy, etc. Then at that moment, as we are exhausting our uh, bad, past bad karma state by experiencing those unpleasant experiences, we are also accumulating new unwholesome karma states, which may arise in the future. So, so it becomes gradually it becomes a vicious cycle because when we are experiencing unpleasant experiences, then we are exhausting our past karma state because they are ripening and exhausting away. But if we at the same time react with unwholesome mind states, then after that, after the past karma state have been exhausted for that time, but what are we left with? What we are left with is a lot of new unwholesome karmic seeds that may arise in the future. Okay, and then after that, these unwholesome karmic seeds that we plant now, and then in the future it manifests as unpleasant experiences again, and then if at that time we react to the negative experience, that unpleasant experience with unwholesome mind states again, then we accumulate unwholesome karmic seeds again, and then the whole vicious cycle goes on and on and on and on. So we suffer again and again and again and again. Okay? So when we understand about this vicious cycle of unwholesome karma, then it makes sense and gives us value to try to relate to those unpleasant experiences with wholesomeness, with wholesome mind, and what we call wise attention. Okay, and when we react with wise attention, the immediate benefit is that when we apply this wise attention, then you will notice that your defilement, your bad feeling of anger or jealousy or envy, they will subside. They will subside and they will become lesser, and your discomfort will lessen. huh? Depending on how strong your level of dharma is, how strong your level of forgiveness and understanding, empathy, and maybe other qualities also. When they are strong, sometimes, if you have cultivated it to a very strong level, sometimes the negative experience, and the anger and the emotion can just last just for a few seconds, or maybe sometimes even 1 second. So with that, then we can realize that hey, that is so much suffering that we have let go, so much suffering that we have released and have avoided. Because if we keep keeping it in our hearts, if you keep for 5 years, you will suffer for 5 years. If you keep it for 10 years, you'll suffer for 10 years. But if we have managed to train our mind to react in a wholesome way to those unpleasant experiences, then when the training is strong, when your mind is strong, when your mindfulness and wisdom is strong, when your forgiveness, understanding, and empathy is strong, then that discomfort may last only for few seconds. And congratulations, you have freed yourself from maybe 9 years and 364 days and don't know how many hours of suffering like that. Huh? So when we understand the value of wise attention and responding wisely to those emotions and those negative or unpleasant experiences, then we have an incentive to train our mind to let go, and have an incentive for ourselves to convince ourselves to hey, not worth getting angry over these things and accumulating new seeds of suffering in the future. Just train to let go lah, like that, huh? And then the next thing is sometimes some things they may say, oh, very difficult to forgive, but uh, then at that time sometimes we can think of how we want to be forgiven for some wrong things that we have done to others. We may have hurt others in the past. We may have harmed others in the past. Then think of it. We also want to be forgiven, right? Yeah. That is when we realize Dharma. And maybe the other party doesn't want you to forgive them or what. But for us, for us, huh? For us, when we forgive, then actually we are letting go of our own suffering. Isn't that so? So if people meant harm to us, why should we suffer? If we suffer, we are falling into their traps, right? We are falling into what they wanted, right? So, so sometimes we can think that, oh, actually, like you see, no, everyone makes mistakes, right? So just like I want to be forgiven, I want to be forgiven for some mistakes that I did. Then for them, whether they think whether the other party want or don't want us to forgive them, we should, on our side, we should try to have forgiveness, understanding, and empathy towards them. Because ultimately, that also helps us to release that anger and in the mind, right? And when we release the anger, the mind is in a more positive emotion. Then we can use wisdom to find a way out uh, in, uh, if you need for the relationship or the issue that arises, right? Or the dispute that arises. So this is when we think like this, it is easy. It will be easier for us to let go of that grasping in the heart and say, hey, actually, I can forgive lah. We also want to be forgiven, so they may not want to be forgiven, but to forgive them is also letting us go lah, letting ourselves go lah. So with this, hopefully today's sharing will be able to help you guys to be able to let go of the anger towards the enemies more easily. Okay, so that's the sharing for today, and let us share merit. So repeat after me. Etta vata cha mehi sambadang punya sambadang sabe deva sabe bhuta sabe sata anumodantu sabba sampati siddhya. I share my merit with all devas, all beings, all creatures. May they rejoice in our merit. May they be happy. Idame nyati nam hotu. Sukita hontu nyatayo. I share my merits with all departed relatives. May they rejoice in our merit. May they be happy. Idame punyam asavakaya vahang hotu. Idame punyam nimbanasa pachayo hotu. By the power of this merit, may it be supportive condition for my purification of the mind till no more defilements. By the power of this merit, may it be supportive condition for my attainment of Nibbana. Mama punya bhagan sabba satanang bhajemi te sabbe me sammang punya bhagan labantu. I share my merits with all beings. May they rejoice in the merits. May they be happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So that's all for tonight's session. May all of you be well, peaceful and happy, and see you guys in the next session. Okay? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.